We were pretty famous back in high school.
Trust us. Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Yes.
What?
Happy... What?
Go ahead.
Happy Valentine...
Wait, what?
Say what?
No. Say, huh?
How about...
No, go ahead. No.
What?
No, go ahead.
Woo?
What was that?
Go with you? Woo?
Go
Do you really... Okay.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine...
Wait. Go ahead.
You? Me?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Me? You?
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day, high school fam. Or, I'm sorry, high school famous fam. To celebrate the season of love, we're discussing the many romantic themes and stories connected to Valentine's Day. From the latest rom-coms to the classic star-crossed lovers in literature, we're breaking it down and bringing you the best in Valentine's Day entertainment. Join us as we explore the heart, soul, and sappy sentiment of this Hallmark holiday all month long.
I don't agree to this.
I
don't agree to this at all.
This, what's that chat DB, what is that thing, that smart AI chat thing that people are talking about?
I don't know. I know the one we know that we used.
There's someone that is like making all the news, or I don't know. People are talking about it, and I saw
the buzz around the net.
There's some buzz on the net,
World Wide Web.
I saw some video on YouTube that was like, "Hey, integrate this with Siri, so Siri's not dumb anymore. It's actually useful and smart." So I made the little shortcut that they tell you how to make, and so I could just say, Siri, write a Valentine's Day themed intro to the High School Famous podcast, and then that's what I came up with.
Nice. Is there a reason that your camera is completely blurry right now?
It is. I didn't say, "Hey, so and so." I just said the name, but it seemed to trigger that anyway. So my phone triggered a response, and so it blurred my camera.
Interesting.
And weird. It's not using it anymore, so I don't know why I can't be seen right now. I'm going to turn my camera off and back on again on the thing here.
That's what they do. That's what they tell you to do. No.
Wow.
Still
cool.
blurry. So that's just what you are now?
Well.
Should I stop for a second?
Wow, this is awful. Why'd you ask me why did I... You didn't ask me anything.
It's true. I just disagreed to what your phone was telling us to do.
Yeah.
And now your phone settings are all screwed up. There it is.
That was weird. I had to press the lock button like I was locking my phone, but it undid. Oh, God.
Oh.
Hey, what a great start.
Yeah, that's some good visual content for this
podcast.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Ooh, I don't care if he's blurry or not. Shut up and get on with your episode, you jerks. Who cares?
You stupid fucks."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? So
maybe
a couple things. I recently upgraded our account on Squadcast.
Oh, yeah, you did.
So this episode is being visually recorded as well as audio recorded.
And this happens.
And this happens. So
fun.
We could potentially put this out there as a video contented episode as well, if we choose.
I would have spruced myself up a little bit. I wouldn't be wearing just my white t-shirt and not be showered and that kind of thing.
You'd be in a full 3-piece suit.
I'd be in some of those pieces, maybe not all three.
Okay. So yeah, today we had promised that we would be having some guests on the show. And unfortunately, one of the guests is under the weather. So we decided to reschedule because we didn't want to do it with just two of the members of Apropos of Nothing. We would like all three members to be in on this together. So we have decided to postpone that until another time. So this is a very impromptu recording session at the moment.
Correct.
Fraught with visual difficulties.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why we upgraded the account, because our previous account could only have so many guests on.
No one cares. Why do you say? Why do you?
I'm just stating
no
this to. I'm mentioning to why do you always shut me down when I explain things?
Well, it's
like break the fifth wall and shit with stuff. Or the fourth
do you
wall.
think anyone listening cares that you upgraded the account this is why?
I was explaining as to why this particular episode is being visually recorded as opposed to just audio recording.
But are we going to post the video of it?
We potentially could if we wanted to. That's what I'm getting at with it. So I don't understand why you're so against me explaining it.
I just think there's some stuff you choose to mention that really no one, not a single person. Well, okay. If
I was also trying the other point of this, because the other point of this was explaining the fact that we were going to have guests on this week, and now we're not. And I was rounding it all together into one little lump sum of saying, hey, we had talked about having AON on this week, and unfortunately we couldn't. This is the reasoning. It's all just tied together. So I was just explaining it all as a big group.
Yeah, yes. All of these things are true. If you do end up seeing us with
having
this
argument,
what a great debut episode to have the video available, right? What a great debut episode for that. Yeah, I think we should hold off on debuting video for this podcast until we could be ready for it.
Can be friendly and kind to each other.
Yeah, and be ready for it. Because I don't want because really, let's break it down. We
could use this as just a test for ourselves of dinking around with it and seeing how it works and looks and all that stuff.
Again, a bunch of off-mic conversation that's happening on mic.
How many times have we done that in the 117 episodes we've previously recorded?
Look, maybe I'm just a little butthurt right now because once again we got stood up on Valentine's Day. Let's just say what it is. Let's just tell it like it is. So let's say what's really happening here. We got stood up on Valentine's Day.
Did we get stood up as much as I think it was a collective decision amongst the parties that were involved in the conversation.
But the breaker of the plans was not us. It was the other person, quote unquote.
Yeah.
The other person said they can't make it.
This is all James's fault.
And
we blame you, James.
Yeah, James. I hope your fever gets better. Can't record during your, anyway. He said he wasn't watching it. Today's Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah. Hooray.
Yeah.
That's also happening.
But for you guys, it's Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Potentially, if you're listening to this.
For anyone not involved with the Super Bowl, it's Valentine's Day. Actually, when you listen to this, it will be Valentine's Day if you listen to it when it drops. But today, as the time of the recording, it's Super Bowl Sunday, which we clearly care about because
here we are.
I think 2 years in a row we recorded during the Super Bowl or something like that.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure last one was recorded on. Yeah, so I think we even made mention to it then.
We probably did.
Yeah.
I've got a dad joke, and so far I will have to say this is not just the best dad joke of the week. So far, this is the best dad joke of the year. It's something you may or may not have heard. I hope you haven't.
Ran out of breath.
I hope you haven't heard this. Question: how did the hipster end up in the lake?
Go ahead. I already know.
Do you know the answer?
I believe I do.
He went ice skating before it was cool.
Yeah.
Joke of the year.
Yep.
So far.
That's so good.
You have to admit.
It sucks that that's the caliber. Like that you look at it and you're like, yeah, unfortunately, that is the best joke so far.
You have to admit.
So awful.
You have to admit the ones that have been read so far. That is as crappy of a joke as that is. It's by far the best one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, we're going to try something here. We did it sort of last year.
Yes.
And I don't know. You seem to have this weird knack for finding actually stupidly entertaining things on the internet, and then when I try to do something similar, it just falls flat. I'm hoping
It's
it
because
doesn't.
you use Bing and I use Google.
Actually, I use Google. I just jokingly say that I use Bing. No one uses Bing. I'm
John's
sure
getting
people that
Bing
work
money.
within Microsoft are like required to use it. Like
Probably.
I bet you
and
they're
they're
like,
just
if
like,
they're trying to find a way to fix something that they can't figure out, they're not allowed to search for the answer via Google, and therefore,
what if they just Bing Google and then do it that way?
That's probably the workaround that
That's
they
the workaround.
probably all use that. Yeah, that's the workaround. They just go on Bing.com and then search Google.com. Then they click on hopefully the first link, probably an ad supported link. They probably have an ad link that says Bing at the top, like Microsoft Bing is the first search result when you search Google.com on Bing. It's where they have to pay for their own results. Anyway, so I looked up a list. I haven't really read these yet, or some of them anyway, so this might be awful. It might be good. Now, it's on glamourmagazine.co.uk, so it could be tame.
I don't know.
But it said,
it's UK.
Are these the worst Valentine's Day stories ever? I thought maybe there's potential here.
Maybe.
Now, this is from January 31st, 2017, so we're a couple years behind. There may be some more recent stories.
And I think it might be a nice treat for our listeners to hear you telling stories and being able to read at a normal human capacity, as opposed to me reading stories to people.
Well,
and stumbling continuously over every word I read.
Let's see. These don't appear to be super long. I'll try to do it in some sort of, voice, some sort of broadcasty voice. You did a dramatic.
I did a dramatic reading last time.
Okay, let's see. The first story. I'm not big on Valentine's Day, so it was fine by me when my boyfriend asked if I'd mind him going out for his mate's birthday. What I did mind, however, was him ringing me at 3 a.m. to ask if I'd pick him up because he'd lost his clothes.
What?
So that was my Valentine's night, collecting my naked boyfriend from town, where he stood loudly proclaiming his love for me. Carrie, 24.
Harry, 24?
Carrie. Person's name is Carrie. The
Carrie.
24.
I thought you said Harry.
I said Harry and Carrie. Hi!
Harry Carrie? So, naked boyfriend. So he had his phone, but he didn't have his clothes?
Well, we don't know. It doesn't say anything about whether he used a friend's phone or like if he was at a bar, maybe he used the bar phone.
I don't think the bar would allow him to be in there naked.
Right. So, but he was collecting my naked boyfriend from town. So he was publicly
in town.
Nude somewhere.
Well, because then he publicly was claiming his love for her as she picked him up.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, I guess at that point he's not going to be able to get like an Uber or anything because he's naked.
Probably not. So, and I'm wondering how. I'm sure he explained to her at some point how he lost his clothes, but she chose to withhold this from the story.
Yeah,
which I guess that is makes it fun. It leaves the guessing up to the readers.
Right. Like, did he lose it in a bar fight? Was he playing strip poker?
A bar fight.
Strip bar fight.
Strip bar fight. Could be.
That's what I would do.
Would you? So if you're in a bar fight, Matt, are you saying that's your go-to move is just start ripping your opponent's clothes off?
It's to assert dominance.
You want to insert dominance?
Assert.
Oh.
I want to assert it. As quickly as possible. Yeah, I mean, if you're about to fight some dude and he just rips all of his clothes off and says, "Let's go," are you going to continue to fight that guy?
Like, wait, you rip your own clothes off?
Yeah. Why would I rip somebody else's clothes off?
I asked if that was your go-to move was to start ripping the other person's clothes off.
Oh, no. It's to rip my own clothes off.
See, I would try to partially take them off, to make their arms a little stuck in their shirt or something. And if you yank their pants down to their knees, they can't take full steps anymore. Yeah. These are real strategic moves of mine.
Then you can really give them a hand job.
You can really reach around. I sneak up from behind. I reach around. I catch him off guard with a quick little handy.
They won't expect it.
No, they won't expect it.
And they won't see it coming because you also pulled their shirt over their face.
Right. They won't expect it and they won't reject it.
Yeah. One finger in the butt, one hand on the
just one
dick. Well, to start with.
Yeah,
You don't want to hurt him
I suppose you want to
in this bar fight.
You don't want to hurt your enemy in this bar fight. And this type of fighting, everyone's fine with. You're not going to get kicked out for. This is like playful. They're like, oh, it's Valentine's Day. They're probably just
want to make them sleepy.
Lovers. Yeah, you want to tire them out and have him suck in his thumb, tuck him in at night.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you say this wasn't a good Valentine. Maybe it was a good Valentine's Day for him, Carrie, age 24.
I'm sure he had a great time. Clearly. I mean, he clearly had a great time. His clothes were gone.
Yeah, it sounds like she's
just
jealous
your
that
clothes
she was
in a bad way.
I know. And you'd never lose your clothes in a bad way.
Yeah, nobody's ever lost their clothes in like a tragic experience.
Well, I've never even seen a scene in a movie where someone gets tied up at a bed and then the other person was just tricking them and then they grab their clothes and run out of the room and the person's just left there tied to the bed with no clothes on.
Okay, so I'm watching a show
right now during the recording.
No. So I'm watching the show The Legend of Vox Machina, which is the animated series based off of the Twitch channel, YouTube channel Critical Role does a D&D campaign. And they're on like their third campaign now, but this is based off of their first campaign. It's an animated series that they got crowdfunded, and then it's continuing on from there. So it follows the campaign fairly closely. They make some changes and stuff, but there is literally a scene in it where one of the characters goes up to a room with somebody they just met. They tie him to a bed and then threaten to kill him at knife point, because it's actually his daughter who he didn't know existed.
Oh,
and she was gonna kill him because of the way he left and left her mother with nothing and all this stuff. So it's kind of funny how you're like, I've never seen anything like that in a movie. I'm like, here's an example immediately of it's animated, so it's not like a show, I guess, is real, but if you're just talking about a movie or a TV show doing the same thing, but.
Well, I have seen
similar circumstance.
That. I have seen.
You have seen that happen.
Yeah, I thought you could tell by my tone.
What have you been watching?
No, this was nothing like X-rated. It was just I don't even remember what it was.
I wasn't even going there.
Well, because you're like
that would make for a terrible porn.
There's no intercourse
tied
whatsoever.
Tied him to the bed and then they leave. And then the camera's it's just a still camera shot of that person tied to a bed for like another 5 minutes with nothing happening.
Come to think of it, I think, oh gosh, I
have watched a porn like that.
No, I have watched that exact porn. Yeah, with Carrie, age 24. I think there was some sort of Seinfeld episode where someone I think it was Seinfeld, now that I'm remembering.
Once again, everything comes back to Seinfeld or Simpsons.
I believe,
for Sean.
I believe George got handcuffed to the bed and he was obviously getting excited, and then the woman went into the bathroom or something. She was saying she was going to get into something more comfortable or something like that. I forget. She ends up coming back in the room
fully clothed,
just grabs. He was getting robbed. That's right. She met him and said, "Let's come back to my room" or whatever. He went up there, got him to take his clothes off, get strapped to the bed. She grabs his jeans and complains about how little money he has in his wallet, and then leaves. With his clothes. So she either left with his clothes or just left them there, and either way he was tied to the bed, so he couldn't get up and get them.
Right.
So
yes. Much like how you always bring everything somehow back to Seinfeld or Simpsons, and then complain about how I somehow always bring something back to Friends. Let me talk about a similar Friends situation.
We have stories to get through.
Sorry, there's
stop.
a similar thing happens in Friends. Moving on.
All right, Seinfeld did it first, but I'm just guessing.
Simpsons probably did it first.
Next story. Benji, age 27, says, I went out with the lads last year as we were all single. Yeah. It was a good night until I came home. It's almost over. Until I came home and found my parents bent over the kitchen table. And no, they weren't eating. Scarred for life.
One of them might have been.
Again, they didn't go into detail, but yes. Benji, male or
still
female? Male name? Benji, male name?
I would say. I would assume a man.
And he went out with the lads. He says.
Yeah. so he said they weren't eating, but he didn't. I mean, obviously, it's insinuating that they were, in the middle of coitus, but
Yeah.
it doesn't specify that. There's a lot of things you can do bent over a table.
That's
they could have been
true.
doing a puzzle.
Naked and thrusting?
Did he say they were naked?
No, but come on. I mean,
He didn't say they were naked. All he said was they were bent over and not eating.
He did, but please tell me he's not someone that is scarred for life if he walks in on his parents doing a puzzle.
Oh, he said he was scarred for life?
Yeah, you started talking before I finished.
I mean, the scarred for life thing could be unrelated.
Like he could have gotten cut.
He could just also, by the way, also I am scarred for life.
Yes. Other reasons.
Due to a different thing that happened earlier in the night. Like a literal scar. Not
when I was
like
out with the lads.
Yeah.
So
we got into a naked bar fight.
I'm hoping they were naked at first. That's his move.
Mm-hmm.
Old Benji goes right for the apparel. I'm hoping that the 27 is the age that Benji was when the story was like submitted. Because if he's 27, still living with his parents and having no one with to go out with on Valentine's Day,
somebody
not doing
like
so
that.
well, right? But that's not a good situation.
It's true. I'm saying it's possible that he is still.
It
living
is
at
possible.
home.
I'm just saying. I hope it's not the case. That's all.
Well,
I'm saying.
I'm sure it wasn't for very long after that, because I'm sure Benji was ready to move out shortly after walking in on his parents bent over the table.
Doing the jigsaw. Doing a move my dad called the jigsaw.
Mm-hmm.
All right, third story, Matt. This is submitted by Lily, age 27 as well. Maybe she should give Benji a call. Maybe they can sprout some love plants. I'd just broken up with my boyfriend, so was going to go to work, keep my head down and try to ignore the day, which would have worked if my boss hadn't sent me a hand-delivered huge 200-pound bouquet, pounds as in British currency, not a 200-pound in weight bouquet of flowers, to his girlfriend. Worse still, I had to walk through town as strangers stopped me to admire the flowers and say things like, "He must love you a lot." Then have to explain over and over that no, they weren't for me. So much for ignoring the day. That was
okay, so that started off by saying she broke up with her boyfriend, right?
Yes, I just broken up with my boyfriend. So yeah, what's the problem?
Just fucking get over it. You decided to break up with your boyfriend. So clearly there was some issues there.
You chose not to have flowers on Valentine's Day.
Well, that's not even the case.
I should have skipped this story.
Well, I don't know. It's just that whole story is stupid because it's just like you clearly you didn't have a great relationship. You chose to break up with your boyfriend before Valentine's Day, and now you're going to be bitter about not getting Valentine's on your Valentine. If that's the case, then break up with your boyfriend after Valentine's Day.
Yeah, let him get you a big old box of chocolates and a big old 200-pound bouquet first, and then kick him to the curb.
Yeah. And instead, you pulled the fucking break up before Valentine's Day move, which is my fucking move, and then complained about it. I did do that. I'm
remembering that.
Complain about not getting a Valentine's Day because of it?
Yeah, I don't want to give the story any more time. This one's a little more spicy.
Oh, shit.
As a treat, I dressed up as a sexy policewoman, complete with handcuffs and a plastic gun. I tied my boyfriend up. Huh?
Is it just like a real cop?
Yeah. Plastic gun. Sexy.
Mm.
I tied my boyfriend up on the bed, then jokingly shot him, thinking the gun would just make a sound. Nope. It contained actual plastic pellets that don't hurt that much unless they hit your bare tackle. I'll never forget his howl and the lack of sex afterward.
Why were you playfully shooting at his junk?
It's sexy Valentine's Day's fun.
Yeah, there's nothing I love more than somebody play shooting me in the dick.
She probably was like, you're under arrest. Drop your weapon.
Under arrest.
You're under arrest. Drop your weapon.
Drop your weapon.
Whoa.
I'm a sexy cop.
You add the W sound where there's no
Yeah.
R. I'm a Swexweek quap.
I'm going to
Please.
twat you whoop.
Please and drop that big stiff weapon.
Stop resisting.
Okay, you would make a horrible sexy cop. That sounds
That
awful.
one worked. Resisting.
No, but just the way you sound.
Stop
it doesn't sound good.
resisting.
Yeah,
well,
but
I'm
again,
obviously
the way
not
you
trying to sound sexy. I'm afraid to turn you on right now. I don't need that in my life.
Why is it just why? We are on
I don't
video.
need to. I don't need to. I don't need to be turning you on for my personal reasons.
Gotcha. You signed a document stating that you would never do that. It was court ordered.
Yeah, it was also a non-disclosure. You're not supposed to talk about it.
Well, if I have you sign someone's in big trouble now. Oh.
You're gonna get arrested.
I better frisk you up, boyfriend.
Gonna take you to a small claims court.
You're gonna have to pay a fine.
Mm-hmm. Restitution.
Because you're so fine. This courtroom is so fine. Let's do a puzzle together.
The jury found you guilty.
Is this a panel of baby kangaroos?
Not the Joey.
I know, but I said, like it's a jury full of. Anyway, that was Jody, age 29. Everyone, feel bad for Jody. Actually, don't feel bad for Jody. She shot him with the plastic pellets.
Yeah.
Feel bad for boyfriend who got.
She fired the first shot.
Feel bad.
Jody
for,
fired first.
Yeah, feel bad for dude who got hit point blank in the bear tackle. I guess I don't know if it was point blank or not.
The bear tackle.
Bear, yeah.
It's for catching bears.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm just pretending to dig through a tackle box.
Just dangle this out here to catch some
really
bales.
Great stuff. Huh?
Dangle this out there to catch some bales.
Some bales. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, how do you roar in that speech impediment?
Wow. It's just wow.
Wow. Wow. What a scary bear. What a scary bear. Okay, we're going to do...
that bear seems really surprised.
Yeah, wow. I'm going to keep... I don't know. Hey,
moving on.
I work in a hotel that runs a Valentine's offer. Dinner and an overnight stay. I was newly single and wanted to be so busy, I signed up to work. What wasn't in the plan was having to wait the table where my ex was sitting with his new girlfriend, who didn't know I existed. Worse still, while they ate dessert, I had to scatter rose petals on all the beds and leave out massage oil sets. I was literally prepping my ex to have sex with another woman. Fantastic. Charlotte, 25.
My ex to have sex. On the decks.
on all his decks.
On his roller decks. So no, this story can't possibly be true.
What?
Because
are you doubting Charlotte?
Yes,
25.
because Charlotte wouldn't be in charge of waiting tables at the hotel restaurant and also putting flowers in the rooms. The staff at a hotel restaurant is completely different from the staff that does the hotel stuff.
Dude, it's Valentine's Day. They're short-staffed. People are calling in. They're like, I'm sick. Also, just like someone else we know.
I also hate the fact that, like, when Valentine's Day rolls around and anybody who's single is just like, it's Valentine's Day. I need to avoid this day or stay busy because I don't have someone. It's like, it's just another fucking day. It's a made up bullshit Hallmark holiday anyways.
Well, all the holidays are made up and they're stupid.
Well, yeah, all the holidays are made up, obviously, but at least, like, there's holidays that have, like,
legit religious.
They have historically they're attached to, like, certain things and stuff. I don't really know the history of Valentine's Day or how it all started and everything. So maybe it does root way back into some ancient freaking tradition and stuff. But it's just, to me, it's just an excuse. It's just a money holiday. It's just a spend money holiday.
Yep.
It doesn't serve a purpose. It's like,
just like Mother's Day.
You should, if you're in a relationship with somebody, celebrate things that are important within you, like dates that are important within your relationship. Why center anything around fucking Valentine's Day? It's stupid. I haven't celebrated it in fucking years and years and years and years and years. I shut that shit down a long time ago of just like, what? It's annoying anyways to try to go out on Valentine's Day because it's like everybody's fucking out anyways.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I can buy candy any time of the year. I don't need to buy specifically that crap. It's like you can get flowers for somebody any time of the year. Why do you have to spend this specific shit? I don't know. I'm just bitter.
But when other time during the year can you get a heart-shaped box full of assorted chocolates? When?
I'm pretty sure any time of the year. Because
Probably,
people still do that for like just special occasions. Like if I wanted to do it for like an anniversary, I could just order a heart-shaped box full of chocolates online. Probably can't just go to a store and find one easily, but I can definitely order them.
But who does that these days?
Who orders stuff online these days?
No, who goes to the store? Why would I say who orders stuff online these days?
I thought you were just making a joke.
You just said I probably wouldn't go to a store and get one.
Right.
And then I said, who does that these days? And you're like, what? Something I said before the last thing I said that you responded to?
No, because I said them both kind of around the same time. So.
Yeah, you do.
It was kind of a sentence.
You do kind of like not stop. You just kind of keep going.
I'd like the record to know that I hadn't said anything in at least 15 seconds.
That is not accurate.
I will modify it so it is.
Who? Me? What?
My...
What? Is it?
That's a callback.
Exactly. My boyfriend made me an amazing Valentine's meal, complete from scratch. Later on, getting jiggy, I started feeling a horrendous burning sensation down there. It's in the story.
Nobody says getting jiggy. We started getting jiggy.
Aaron, age 28, says it. Later, getting jiggy, I started feeling a horrendous burning sensation down there. Turns out he hadn't washed his hands properly after chopping chilies. I spent the night with nothing more exciting than a cold flannel between my legs.
Cold flannel. I would have immediately been in, like, soaking myself and washing the area profusely.
I would have run over to one of those eye wash stations, pulled the lever, did a handstand, and spread my legs.
You can't do both those at the same time.
I would have done, what, the handstand and spread the legs, or the pull the lever part?
Well, yeah, also pulling the lever, because you have to, like, maintain pull on the lever.
Well, my boyfriend did that, who made the amazing Valentine's
Are you talking
meal.
about an actual eye wash station or one of the showers?
The shower thing.
Shower washes.
The shower wash.
Yeah, you have to continuously pull down on that lever to keep the water flowing.
Yeah, so I'm in a handstand, and my legs spread out,
and you use one of your feet.
I use one of my feet to pull down the lever, or the handle, whatever, the chain, however.
Have you taken your pants off at this point, or your pants are probably already off because you were.
We were getting jiggy. Oh yeah, my pants are clean off. They're lost.
Is that what Will Smith meant by getting jiggy with it?
No.
I'm so upset I set you up for that. I am.
Thank you, Will Smith. I'll never thank you for anything, but I'll thank you for this.
Nobody's been thanking him for anything recently.
Not recently. In fact, I might be putting myself in a bad position to be thanking. I'm
Sean's about to get
thanking
canceled.
Will Smith. I'm on Chris's side. Anyway, well, Matt, we've only got one story left on this list. Wow. Yeah, I said they're short.
Was it 5 stories?
Let me count. This'll drag things out. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 stories.
Shit.
So I can slow down. Let me slow this one down. Let me slow this one down for you. Valentine's Day 2011 was by far the worst. I found
2011 in this, but this is posted from. They've been holding on to this story for like 6 years at this point. Before
that, or they've been telling it every year for 6 years,
maybe.
Because thankfully, another Valentine's Day has not topped how bad this one is for them.
Right.
So we could be thankful that they don't have a worse
for this person,
more
anyways.
Recent, correct. Not for
all
us.
All the people they've gone on dates with on Valentine's Day since have heard this story, and it's been their worst.
Yep. First date. That's his story. Philip, I'm on to you, Philip, and not in the sexy way. I found out I was being made redundant. Then discovered I'd been locked out.
Of what?
I don't know.
Redundant from what? And locked
I
out
don't
from
know either.
what? Is he talking about his job, or is he talking about his life?
It could be. You know what? Since these seem to be like, people from England, being made redundant, I think, is referring to.
I would
like
think
you got
job.
laid off or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just go on.
Finish the story. Let's finish the story. It might explain
then,
more.
What? Then discovered. Yeah. Then just.
This is how we drag this out. What?
We have to. It could be a short episode because it's so impromptu. I think people would understand.
I mean,
then.
Oh my God.
Then.
Okay.
Then discovered I'd been locked out. My housemate was away on a mini break with his girlfriend.
Okay, so he's locked out of his house.
Yeah. Or
so
flat.
what was he made redundant from? So I'm assuming he lost his job, then found out he was locked out of his house.
Or the housemate.
Because what's the point of saying you're locked out of your job that you got fired from?
Or the housemate is dating his ex-girlfriend. Maybe he was made redundant from the relationship because she made
it could be as well.
She started dating another guy who happened to be his housemate. Right. Okay, mini break with his girlfriend. Of course. So I had to stay on my mom's sofa, but only after she'd made me construct a set of drawers from IKEA. What the? This is the lamest story ever. Okay. Let me read it normally.
You can come stay on my couch, but
Valentine's Day 2011 was by far the worst. I found out I was being made redundant, then discovered I'd been locked out. My housemate was away on a mini break with his girlfriend, of course, so I had to stay on my mom's sofa, but only after she'd made me construct a set of drawers from IKEA.
Just a set of drawers.
A set of drawers. Yeah.
I'm assuming it means like a whole dresser.
I think that's I've heard.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So to glean anything from this story, he got let go from his job.
Right.
He went home, found out he was locked out of his apartment. His flatmate was out of town on a mini break, on a mini vacation with his girlfriend. Of course.
Right. Yes.
Went to go stay with his mom. Mm-hmm. His mom said, sure, you can stay with me on my couch, but you have to construct this set of drawers or this dresser or whatever it is, unit.
Because I've heard of
to be allowed to sleep on my couch.
Yeah.
That's what the story is saying. And somehow that's by far the worst Valentine's Day ever.
This guy, Philip, you've got a good track record.
Yeah, if that was the worst, dude.
Yeah, if you have no worse, that's
like
weird,
a
awkward
fucking Tuesday for me.
First date stories or Valentine's Day
that wasn't even
stories.
It wasn't even a date story. That was just a Valentine's Day. It just so happened to be on Valentine's Day that happened. It could have just been, that could have been any fucking day. And then you'd be like, oh, this day sucked. But it's like, nope, worst Valentine's Day. Just because it happened to fall on Valentine's Day, go fuck yourself, Philip.
Yeah.
That's a
31.
Stupid story. If that's the worst thing in your life, you have got it so goddamn good and easy. Be happy you have a mother to go home to. Some people don't even have that, you prick.
Yeah. And doing the math, you're now possibly 37.
Yeah, wait, how old was he at the time of this?
31. This is from 2017.
So minus 6 years off of that because 2011 was the story.
Oh yeah,
took place, right?
Yeah. So
he was
26.
26.
How many
minus
years?
6 years? 25.
6 years. 25.
6. Yeah.
He was 25.
25.
Yeah.
You fucking millennial bitch.
Yeah. Why don't you go ice skating before it's cool? You hipster. Are there hipsters in Britain?
I mean, it's just such a stupid. Like, I'm not even pissed. I know I'm sounding like I'm pissed, but I'm like, it's just such a dumb thing to be like upset about, or like to even like, it's such a non-story that it's just like, this was the worst Valentine's Day. It's like, first off, this story has nothing to do with Valentine's Day. It's just something that happened, I guess, on a Valentine's Day. And it's such a non-fucking story anyways, that it's like, why even post this on the internet at all, or post it in a magazine, apparently. Philip, you wasted my fucking time.
Yeah. Well, I also blame Glamour, whatever the heck, .co.uk.
Oh, yeah.
Glamourmagazines.co.uk.
Whoever the editors are for that fucking publication, you suck, because that is such a non-story.
It's a non-story, and also that's the closer story. That's the last one they list.
Yeah. You should have closed on fucking itchy, sweaty genitals or whatever the fuck that was.
Yes, that's what it was called. Itchy Sweaty Genitals. Submitted by Aaron, age 28.
Spicy genitals.
Oh, sorry. Spicy, sweaty, super hot to the touch genitals.
Cold flannel.
Cold. Yeah, what's a cold flannel? You just put some ice in it?
It's just, it's just like a rag.
Sure.
Like yeah.
They call that a cold flannel?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you have any...
I mean, a flannel to us is obviously much different. It'd be really weird to put a cold, like, flannel shirt on your junk.
Well,
or this sounded flannel. Like it was... This sounded like Aaron was a woman in this story.
Yeah.
Because he didn't wash his hands. So...
Yeah.
I'm making an assumption, but...
That it's a heterosexual couple?
Yeah. But yeah, to put a full, like, grunge-era flannel that you've chilled onto your vagina...
Yeah. That's my grunge impression.
She had to get some even flow down there.
Oh, so look what he did.
I couldn't think of a different Pearl Jam reference than even flow.
Well, that's the song I was doing.
I'm sure there's better.
That's the song I was doing. The whole thing made me feel alive.
Yeah, I was going to say, she realized she was still alive at that point because she could feel the burn.
Porch. What's the other one? An elderly woman behind the counter in a small town, or whatever the heck that super long song title is.
I don't know.
Bugs. What?
It's bugs.
And any personal Valentine's Day horror stories of your own?
No, I don't think so. Like, I've had bad meals, but like that's about it. It's all of mine would be very non-stories of Valentine's Day
too.
things. Like any Valentine's Day mishaps would just be like, eh. I mean, obviously I broke up with somebody right before Valentine's Day that we kind of briefly mentioned earlier.
And that would be like a story submitted by the other person.
Yeah, that would be her story, not mine.
Although they're probably much, maybe they were happier. Maybe it was a big relief. They were probably like dreading the day. They're probably like, oh my God, I can't stand to the thought of spending time with this person again, especially on such a romance centric holiday. He's gonna want something.
For me, I was like already kind of like, oh, I don't really want to be in a relationship with this person anymore. And now Valentine's Day is coming up, and I'm just like, obviously I would just have to spend the day with this person that I don't really kind of want to be with anymore. So I'm like, dick move, but yeah, I think we should break up. So that's it. Another non-story for you guys.
And you, way to go, Matt 40. Yeah, I mean this is before the time of texting. So do you have to make the phone call? Is that what you had to do?
No, I did it in person. Like a fucking champ.
All right. Noble.
I did it the right way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever...
You broke up with someone the day before Valentine's Day the right way.
Well, yeah, I mean, in all intents and purposes, yeah, it was the right way to do it, was to do it in person.
Sure.
I mean, if you're gonna break up with somebody, especially 2 days or whatever it was before Valentine's Day, it was like either the day before or 2 days before. This might be the anniversary of my breakup right now.
Ooh, let's celebrate.
Yeah, 20-something years old. The breakup, not my age at the time.
Well, it's actually it was more.
I was probably
17.
That had to have been when I was 16 or 17 probably. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, 17 or 18, somewhere in there. But no, I mean, I think the proper way to break up with anybody is in person. It's the hardest way to do it, but it's just kind of the best way to do it. Unless it's just like an absolute horseshit relationship where being in that person's presence is bad all around and you just need to be like, end this shit over the phone or whatever. But I'm trying to think of any other like breakup I've had, and I can't say that I know of many that were on my end. Like that I did it, you know.
Aside from just, you know, I was married for like 10 years. So aside from that, I don't think I've ever been with anyone like on Valentine's Day. Just like I wasn't coincidentally in a relationship with someone
right
when Valentine's Day happened to fall. So I haven't had the opportunity to have like weird, awkward Valentine's Day date stories. So I feel like I've been cheated.
So essentially you didn't have any like long-term, like, well, long enough term relationships at that point to fall onto a V-Day event.
No. So
yeah.
I mean,
I'm trying to think. I think I probably dated a few different people where it went over that time period, but
not
yeah,
me.
it's weird. It's weird to think about it because it's like I've been broken up with enough times.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a single time where I was actually broken up with in person.
Oh,
mine
really?
were always like over the phone or something. And I think I've even brought up once, there was one person who I like technically started dating and then we never officially broke up.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that. I hope to someday be broken up with via carrier pigeon. Is that too much to ask? You think that's out of the realm of possibility?
It's not out of the realm of possibility. If you like,
it's not likely.
If you state that up front in starting a new relationship and just be like, hey, if at any point during this relationship you feel you need to break up with me, I would like you to do it in this way. And then you could even research it ahead of time and see what companies if there's any companies out there that still do carrier pigeon stuff.
Like, I really plan out for someone to break up with me.
Yeah, just like if it ever happens. Well, I mean, you could have that up front before you even get in a relationship. Just research it, figure out if there's a company that does carrier pigeons. And then that way you just have the information ahead of time to be like, hey, if you ever feel like you need to break up with me during this relationship, I'm going to send you a link, bookmark it.
Here's my guy.
Have it in case.
Here's my carrier pigeon guy.
His name is Terry. Terry, the carrier pigeon guy. I don't know.
Yeah, you tried.
No, I don't know why Terry popped into my head. But yeah, I mean, you can make it happen if you really want to. I mean, you can do anything you want. Do anything you set your mind to.
The odds are better if I start dating someone who like works at the Renaissance Festival, I think.
Why?
Well, just because they would probably be more. I mean, yes.
You think people that work at the Renaissance Festival know people who have carrier pigeons?
No, but okay.
It's such a stereotype that I'm tired of, Sean.
I'm looking at it from the angle. Yes, let's say I date someone that has nothing to do with the Renaissance Festival. They're all about modern times, and they do break up with me, and I provide them the information with which, in order to be able to facilitate a breakup via carrier pigeon. That doesn't mean they're like into the idea or would even want to. They just like, no, I'm just going to text you or ghost you.
So you think people who work at a Renaissance Festival will be more into that idea?
Yes, because they're all about the medieval times and whatnot.
I mean, just people who work at the Renaissance Festival aren't necessarily all into medieval times.
Then what are they doing working at the Renaissance Festival?
It's it's performance. It's fun. It's just, some people just do it for a summer job. It's just they enjoy the idea of the role play, and a lot of theater kids. So
you're saying that there's not a chance that dating someone who works yearly at the Renaissance Festival, there's not any chance that they would be more into and more willing to facilitate this desire of mine?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't stereotype.
I don't think that's a stereotype that exists, or that people have a problem with, or that there's people trying to like. There's no hashtag about trying to stop this type of stereotype. I think it's one that no one's even really talking about or thinking about, except maybe you.
We're talking about it right now.
Do a lot of people ask you to break up with them via carrier pigeon?
No, because they would never make that horrible assumption that I'm into that shit.
how is it horrible to assume that you working at the Renaissance Festival means that you are at least slightly interested in that time period?
Because it's stereotyping. You're stereotyping, and I don't like it.
So I can't assume that someone that like is a dog groomer likes dogs.
That's just a job. You can assume it all you want, but it's you shouldn't publicly state it.
Why not? Why can't I publicly state that?
You must really like dogs, huh? No.
Oh, I hate when people say
How
that. I
dare
hate
you?
dogs. I'm a fish person.
This is just a job.
Yeah. If I could groom fish, I would.
It's like looking at somebody who's like an Amazon delivery person, be like, you must really like boxes because you deliver boxes all day.
Now, there's something slightly less specialized about being a delivery driver than being a
It's
dog
very specialized.
groomer. Is it?
Yeah.
I think
They
someone
do the one job. It's specialized.
Well, okay, so you did just say boxes.
Yeah.
So I guess you could jump around from delivery job to delivery job, and you're likely still delivering just boxes and other type of packaging.
Yeah.
I think then it would be safe to assume that they like boxes.
Wow. Again, Sean just stereotyping people based on their jobs.
Yeah.
Wow.
People
You must really like.
No one works
What
jobs no one works a job that they didn't aspire to do. It's everybody works in a job that they absolutely love, and they're all about it. I love emailing people asking if they're going to pay their bill and ask why they haven't paid their bill.
You must love collecting money from people.
Oh man, I love money.
Do you even take the actual payments, or do you just call them and try to get them to make a payment, like try to go and do a payment somewhere?
I've done payments over the phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often? Okay. Just to completely change the subject. Sorry. How often, like what percentage of calls do you make? Do you feel you actually get a resolution from?
Well, I don't make calls. I email.
Oh,
and
okay. How many emails that you send do you feel like you get a resolution?
Very
less than half.
Way less than half. Like a 60th.
Probably a lot of times you just never get any sort of response at all.
I never get a response, or sometimes sometimes maybe the payment will be sent in without them replying to me, and I don't notice it. I don't.
Right.
I have my list of accounts that have met the threshold. They have a certain dollar amount that they're past due, and it's a certain age past due. Those are the accounts I look at. I don't keep a very microscopic look at the list where if one all of a sudden is not on the list anymore, like it got resolved, I'm not like, oh, that one got resolved. Great. I just don't even notice it. It's just not in my sight anymore. So I guess I couldn't tell you how many things get resolved because I
guess I assumed that you were actually like calling people and trying to get, like, you were kind of not soliciting, I guess, but you were like making the phone calls and trying to resolve things over the phone.
When I first started, I was on a team that was called the dialer team, and we would just get fed lists. We would just get fed accounts. And so we'd all be on this dialer thing. So an account would pop up and I would hit dial and it would call the number that was, on file. And I would usually leave voice messages then. But that was where, there's some other group that's got the whole list of accounts that we have to call on, and they just get fed to us. And it's all random. I'm not going to call this person, and then 3 days later, I'm not going to get that account again. It's going to be whoever else gets it the next time.
Right.
Now I have a list of customers I have.
Okay.
And I can call if I want. Sometimes they want me to call, and sometimes we have conference calls, and there's calls like that. But majoritively, I just send emails. So, but as far as, I have my scorecard for the month that shows me what percent of the AR I've resolved and what percent of accounts have been resolved. But most of the time, those are probably things that get resolved without me even intervening. Like, it's something that happens.
But it's your account, so it counts.
Yeah, it's my account, so it counts for me if it gets resolved. The big stuff that I look at is usually stuff that's like tied up in disputes, and they're waiting for a contract credit, or they're waiting for this or this. There's a problem with this and there's a problem with that. So it's got to be this long drawn out thing where, It's not as cut and dry as like, hey, you're 2 months past due on this invoice. Oh, it's because it looks like we never got it. Can you send it? Sure, here it is. Okay, we'll pay that right away. Thank you. That's not what I work with, which would be easy if that's what I worked with, but that's not what I work with.
Probably more boring too, though.
More boring, less romantic Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Way to bring it back.
I sure did. Yeah, so that's what I do, and I love it. It's my dream job. I wouldn't do anything else. And it's what I wanted to be when I grew up. If you asked me at 7 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would say whatever I do now is my answer.
And
so
then
yes,
you'd be like, I want to email companies to get payments, and people would be like, what's email?
Yeah,
because it wasn't a thing then when you were 7.
I think at the
first
time
I have to invent email.
Oh, at the time, I'm pretty sure I said I wanted to, call them via payphone, or I want to go and knock on their door.
Landline.
Yeah. I want to go door to door and collect their past due balances.
Door-to-door collections.
Yeah. So, yes, I will not be offended if someone assumes that I love money.
That's not your money, though.
But apparently,
it's not your money.
But apparently, you would be offended if someone asks you if you you must love shipping and receiving.
That's not what I do.
You must love running some kind of department unofficially. You must love unofficially running departments, Matt. You must love it. Because it's what you do for money, which is what I love. No offense taken.
I don't hate my job. I wouldn't say I love it. It's
right,
not
but
what
would you be offended if someone
doing.
assumed that you loved unofficially running departments without the pay associated with it?
Yeah.
You would be offended by that?
Oh, hugely. And if that happened, first thing I'd do, take down their pants, jerk them off.
Make sure we're in a bar first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd take them, like, you know what? Let me take you out to a bar.
So wait a minute. Do you declare that do you declare that this is a fight first, or you just, hey man, I heard that you do this for a job. You must love it, and you just immediately go to town?
Yeah. I shouldn't have to explain. I should never have to explain why I'm jerking someone off. Never ask me why I jerk somebody off. Don't you dare ask me if I love doing it. Don't you dare.
Now, that's... No.
I'll jerk you off even harder.
just out of rage.
I will not lick my finger before I insert it if you fucking say that.
Wait a minute. Insert?
Yeah,
now
one finger in the
doing?
butt. One finger in the butt. We discussed this earlier.
Just one?
To start, if they fucking tell me I love it, it's going 2. Immediately 2 fingers.
Dry.
Yeah.
Dry fingers.
2 dry fingers. It's gonna hurt me just as much as it's gonna hurt you. Not same amount, no. It's gonna hurt me a little bit though.
And you go like 2. You know what you do? This can't happen in
2 fingers, 2 knuckles deep. Immediately.
Well, I was going to say, this can't happen at the same time as the jerking off part, but you go...
Sure
both,
it can.
Well, not the way I'm about to just explain the way you do it. Jesus Christ.
Oh, 2 fingers, different hands?
2 thumbs. Both thumbs go in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez, just let me say something for crying out loud.
No.
I'm getting somewhere.
Because you'd love that. Because you love saying stuff. And I would never want to assume that you love talking.
But you just said that I love it. You just said that I love it,
You're
and
right.
you wouldn't want to assume that I love it.
I did assume. Fuck me for saying it. But I did assume you love talking, and I wasn't going to let you.
I won't, but I will jerk you off.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day, some of you.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. 2 in the butt.
And 1 in the... Bye.
Bye.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior,
my boyfriend